I've had people tell me that this is a small flaw of mine. I don't know when to back down from a fight. I don't poke bears exactly. I'm like Marie from the Aristocats, if that makes any sense.
Ladies do not start fights, but they can finish them.
But considering the internet climate that's been increasing lately, I was advised to play nice and not ruffle any feathers until someone ruffles yours. Well, my feathers have been ruffled, and I've played nice for far too long. I ain't scared of shit, and it's time for me to tell you how I truly feel about a certain Miss Jennie Kim. And before you guys even get started on the whole,
"Oh, this bitch must be jealous of a K-pop idol again,"
let me ask you this. Why should I be jealous of a girl who treats her hair and makeup staff worse than dirt by literally blowing her vape germs into their face? Alright, but what's the context to all this? On July 2nd, a vlog was released of Jennie spending time in Capri, Italy, and it seemed like she was doing some modeling promotions and photo shoots over there. However, during a makeover session, Jennie was smoking an e-cigarette, or a vape, as you will, as hairstylists and makeup artists were dolling her up. Footage was even caught of Jennie blowing the smoke, or vapes in this case, into some of the staff's faces. Supposed gossip is that the house that she was filming in was privately owned instead of a public building, and it was more than possible that the owner gave Jennie permission to smoke or vape indoors, which smoking or vaping of this nature indoors would have been illegal if otherwise. Even if this wasn't a real cigarette, but nothing was confirmed of the whole privately owned thing as of this recording of the video you're currently watching. On July 9th, Jennie and her company, Odd Atier, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly actually, released apology statements regarding this matter. It was also according to the statements that Jennie did personally apologize to the staff that were involved in this incident. When it comes to the vlog itself, I actually couldn't find the specific moment in it, and I'm assuming that part was cut out at some point because even I found the point where it was supposed to have happened. However, the Chosun Daily did have a gif of the action as people were describing, and yeah, that is definitely Jennie smoking or vaping and, well, blowing the said smoke or vape particles out as the stylist was checking on her face.
The video shows Jennie surrounded by several staff members while receiving makeup, holding a mysterious object.
But even if this was actually filmed on private property and Jennie was given permission to do this, this whole smoking, vaping, I know there's a difference thing, is not the main issue at hand. Believe it or not, celebrities doing like smoking activities no longer shocks me. In fact, it's more so expected, which is pretty sad. At the same time though, I don't like it. But I'm not their parent, so who am I to tell them not to destroy their lungs? On the other hand, there is a line in which smokers do not cross, and Jennie crossed it greatly. There's a thing that's invisible but exists called smoker's etiquette. As an American, smoking has been a part of our culture for a super long time, but it didn't exactly start being demonized until a couple decades ago. The silent rules we have about smoking now is that no one really cares if you do it or not, just as long as you follow the following. If there is a law about smoking, obey it and don't complain. Please obey the rules of the host's home if this is not your house you plan to smoke in. If you're at a gathering and you have an acquaintance or two who don't appreciate the smoke, please respect their wishes. And most importantly, never ever puff in a person's face. Yes, this counts for vaping as well. Depending on Jennie's situation, since we don't have every small piece of the puzzle together, the thing Jennie was guilty of was committing the sin that was on the same level as spitting in a person's face. This girl could not pick a better time to take a vape smoke than when she has to prepare for a photo shoot. I guess that she's got a business schedule on her hands. I did too once upon a time, but I at least never disrespected people the way she did here. In all honesty, hearing of this actually made me forget about the Irene incident entirely. I'm not saying that either situation was worse because both of them degrade a staff member, but I want to look at these two incidents back to back. Irene yelling at a staff member seemed like an accident done on impulse, which, while that's also not okay to do, At least Irene was aware of what she did, and we haven't heard this happen again since she apologized. Also, SM did put Irene on a hiatus, most likely as an HR stint, to show people that at least the company is taking this issue seriously. Whether the company actually does or doesn't, we don't know. Jennie's incident is not an accident. If what was said about the private estate thing is true, which again, we don't know if it is, that means she probably asked if it was okay to smoke, which she was most likely given the okay, but Jennie Kim, a 28-year-old woman, by the way, decided herself that the perfect time for her to take a vape smoke break was during a makeover session for a photo shoot that, according to Odd Atelier, again, sorry if I mispronounced that, itself was a solo activity, so that meant Jennie wanted to do this photo shoot, or probably had to, in order for the company to gain some business traction. That within itself is already the problem, because she has a group of people around her that she doesn't know if they are okay with the smoking vaping or not, and right as one of Jennie's stylists was doing her thing by making sure that Jennie's face was progressing well as ordered, Jennie thinks that's the right time to blow that vape, right as the stylist was looking directly at her. Because the apology was basically coming from Jennie and her own team, doesn't mean that the people are going to take that apology so seriously, especially when the action itself is as low class as it can get, and that low class action looks like it was an intentional decision. I know with smoking vaping addicts, the farther the addiction is, the more unintentional the hits become, and based on this one incident alone, we don't know about Jennie's vaping habits, but the fact that she decided to take the smoke break during her session either tells me A, she really didn't want to bother waiting until that part of the work was done, or B, she was practically testing how far she could go to piss off the staff and clients around her, and boy did she test. All of you are probably thinking that I'm getting way too defensive over one smoking incident, but here's why I feel the way that I do. I used to work at a theme park part-time. To clarify, I used to work at the Magic Kingdom in Florida. This was back before Disney decided to get rid of all of their in-park smoking areas, so when I would assist with the Big Thunder Mountain attraction duties, I would get people to come up and ask me where the smoking area was. The nearest smoking area from the ride was actually on the dock directly next to the attraction's exit, so I would also answer this question the quickest. For 99.99999999999999999% of the time, there were no problems regarding the smoking areas or smokers who didn't want to go into the smoking area. Out of the 4 months I worked for this park, I only had one incident, and I dealt with it, fortunately, without a problem. I was coming back from lunch when I saw a middle-aged woman leaning against the wall of the exterior that was on the other side of the ride queue, smoking a cigarette. As this was against the park rules, I immediately walked up to her and explained that the smoking area was on the other side and she couldn't smoke here because there were children running around. She, of course, gave me the entitled, "bitch really" look, but that was when I said either put out the cigarette or go to the other side. We don't want a problem here, do we? And that was when she moved. My case in point is that how come this rule is super easy to follow for everyone else, and that one individual just found it so difficult to find that one shit of care inside of her body to do that one easy thing. Yes, there is a huge difference between cigarette and cigar smoke versus vapors from a vape pen, but if you are blowing out molecules from your body onto another person who obviously did not give you the consent to do so, you are no more than a sewer rat. And the only apology I'm going to give here is to the sewer rat. These guys are usually clean, regardless of where they hang out at. Better yet, a little fun fact about me. If you think it's funny to blow any speck of smoky or vapey air into my face, you better have an apology ready for me before your face hits the ground, because nobody, and I mean nobody, does that to me. And I know exactly what's going to happen. All of the blinks are going to rally together and say that Jennie apologized and we shouldn't be beating the dead horse anymore. We shouldn't make her feel like complete crap over something she said she was sorry for. But here's the thing. We definitely should make her feel like garbage about this because what she did is usually committed by the lowest of the class pigs who wander the streets. If she wants to be a 1920s oil tycoon's heiress, I think she's 100 years too late for that one. All I know for sure is that no matter how much this little girl apologizes for what happened, Jennie is not going to get out of this one, especially since news articles and reports indicated that South Korea's Ministry of Foreign Affairs received a petition for them to investigate the smoking incident further. I wish I can find out exactly what the petition is for, but I want to assume that it has something to do with Jennie breaking some form of workers' rights or something like that. Again, I can't find anything, so I don't want to make statements that are not true. With that said, I also don't know if the ministry is going to go through with the investigation either, so I guess only time will tell. On the off chance that the ministry does look into this, Jennie Kim is in a fuckload of trouble. As you can already tell, I don't accept Jennie's apology because based on her past actions and behavior, though I didn't expect her to sink so low beyond the bad manners line, at the same time, I am not surprised. So if you guys are looking for any good reason to destroy Jennie Kim's reputation, if you are looking for one incident to never forget the day where she actually blew her own germs into a staff member's face.
Disgusting!